Good afternoon, folks. It's Robert Chappell, Executive Editor of Madison365, with your daily update for Monday, November 1st. It is November 1st, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? It is Monday, November 1st, which means it is Metcalf's Monday, and there's a good cause you can be involved with now. Metcalf's is a fourth-generation, family-owned and operated market with stores in Madison at Hilldale and behind West Town Mall in Madison and in Wauwatosa at 68th and State. During the month of November, Metcalf's are partnering with Second Harvest Food Bank here in Madison and Tosa Cares over in Wauwatosa to help fight hunger and food insecurity. Donations can be made at Metcalf's, Hilldale, or Westtown all month long. Also supporting the update today is Forward Theater Company, presenting The Amateurs by Jordan Harrison. This time-traveling comedy features a troupe of 14th century actors that perform Bible stories while outrunning the Black Plague. Inventive and hilarious, The Amateurs considers the purpose of art in dark times. We wouldn't know anything about that right now, would we? It runs November 4th through the 21st. Tickets available right now at forwardtheater.com. We thank Forward Theater and Metcalf for their continued support of Madison365. We're going to talk later in the program about how you can support the work we do here at Madison365.org. But first, we are going to talk about COVID because there's some news, especially if you're in Dane County. This is important to you. Dane County has extended its mask mandate for 22 days and announced publicly that it does not intend to continue to extend it after that. The mask mandate is the current order is set to expire on November 5th, end of this week. And the new order, the last couple orders, they've overlapped them. But this one, they're letting that go until November 5th. And then they're going to issue a new order that is identical to the current order, which means indoor public spaces, you have to wear a mask unless you are eating or performing, basically. So those good folks at Forward Theater Company, you got to be masked in the audience. They don't have to be masked on stage. But Public Health Madison County has taken an unusual step in this instance. That has said that this new order, which goes into effect at midnight on the night of November 5th, will extend to November 27th, which is the Saturday after Thanksgiving, right? So, there's going to be a lot of people hanging out indoors together at Thanksgiving. But then they have announced, it's not in the order. Like the order just says it goes till November 27th. But the Public Health Madison County press release today said that they anticipate that they will not issue another order after the expiration of that one. So after November 27th, masks will no longer be required indoors in Dane County, just like basically most of the rest of the state. They cite the fact that daily cases in Dane County are going down. We're going to talk about statewide cases pretty soon. Statewide cases are starting to go back up, but broadly speaking, the trend is downward, and especially in Dane County. Also in Dane County, 85% of eligible people are vaccinated, and you're going to get a whole new crop of eligible people getting vaccinated in the next week or two. So all of those factors lead Public Health Madison County to believe that by November 27th, it'll be safe to go back to closer to normal and not mask up when you're out shopping or in an office or whatever. So that's the big news on vaccines, or rather on mask mandates right now for Dane County. Let's talk a little bit about some stats. Well, this is a good question, Samantha. Why not just wait until kids can be fully vaccinated? That's basically what they did. That's basically what they're doing in Dane County, right? I think they're kind of, the word fully is operative there because no kids are going to be fully vaccinated by November 27th, right? Because you got to get one shot, which depends on your school and where you can get your appointment, right? That first shot, and then you got to wait 4 weeks to get the second one. So it's not reasonable to think that many children age 5 to 11 will be fully vaccinated by November 27th. That said, and I'm going to say one other thing about this too. That said, you'll have a good swath of kids either already, having the first shot, which does offer some protection, or at least well on their way, to having that first shot by November 27th. So that's basically what I think part of the thinking is. The countywide is very highly vaccinated. And you'll have kids starting to get vaccinated so you can start to wean people off the masks. So two things I'll say. First of all, the press release announcing the order strongly urges school districts to continue keeping kids and staff masked. So Dane County doesn't have any say really over school districts, except that these school districts are, indoor public spaces. So all school districts in Dane County right now are still under the Dane County order. Once Dane County order expires, every school district will have its own decision to make. Right. And Dane County is strongly recommending that school districts remain masked for the time being, partly because kids can't get vaccinated yet, or won't be fully vaccinated by the end of November. Now, the other thing I'll say is I fully expect that a lot of folks in Dane County will just stop wearing masks now, because that's how people are, right? Speed limit 55, you can probably get away with like 68, 69, 70. Right? The speed limit 70, you can go 80. The mask mandate's expiring November 27th. You could probably get away with dropping your mask now, 3 weeks in advance. So, 4 weeks in advance. So I would expect to start seeing a lot of people unmasked now. I'm going to keep masking up. I just got my booster today. I'm fully protected for the most part, except I still have to have 2 kids at home who can't get vaccinated yet. So I'm going to keep masking for a while, even after the 27th of November. But that's up to you. It's up to us. It's up to all of us to do this together. Okay, so great question, Samantha. Thank you. We're going to talk a bit about statewide numbers, which my thinking is statewide numbers today look a little bit worse, in one case a lot worse, but I think this is a Monday data anomaly. Okay. One number that I do trust is that the 7-day average of new cases has climbed up a little bit. Again, not very much though. I'm not terribly concerned about this, except that it's basically a leveling off, right? The 7-day average of new cases has been falling for a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. And just since like Thursday of last week has kind of leveled off and has actually come up, but just slightly. 1,874 is the current 7-day average. That was 1,850 something on Friday, right? So it's up, but not meaningfully, right? 20 more cases a day is not a big deal. We do see 1,130 new cases today, which is a bit high for a Monday. The last couple of Mondays, we've been under 1,000. Okay. Not critically high, not a huge jump, but slightly higher. Okay. The number that concerns me and that I think is not real. Okay. We'll see tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll get a better sense if this number is real. But the percentage of positive tests in the past 7 days is 8.3%. That's up a full percentage point since Friday, which makes me think it's not real. We have not, the jump in new cases isn't big enough for that 8.3% to be real. I think what's happening is, everybody's sort of short-staffed on the weekends, all those public health agencies. And so you're getting the positive tests in, you're getting the positive tests reported, counted, allocated, and there's a whole bunch of negative tests that haven't been processed yet, that have been processed at the labs but haven't been input into the data yet. So you get priorities placed on positive tests, and then Sunday night, everybody goes home. There's a bunch of negative tests that haven't been put into the database yet, which artificially drives up the percentage of positive tests to 8.3%, which is really, really high. 7.3% is really, really high. I would imagine, and we will see tomorrow, I would imagine that this 8.3% will be revised downward. And even if it's revised downward to 7.8%, that's still pretty high, right? I just don't think that 8.3% is real because, like I said, I think they're prioritizing positive tests, and there's a stack of negative tests that haven't been plugged into the numbers yet. That's my theory. We'll see if it pans out. That's one of the dangers of doing this data every day is that you get a blip of one day, it feels bad, but I don't think it is. Now, also today, the death average, 0 confirmed deaths yesterday, which is great news. That puts our new death average at 14 for the past 7 days, 14 confirmed deaths every day. That they haven't been happening this week. That's the number that have been confirmed. Those are numbers that happened 4 to 6 weeks ago, probably, for the most part. We are at well over 9,000 deaths if you count the probables. I don't like to count the probable. Confirmed deaths, 8,495, 935 probable COVID deaths. Hospitalizations also kind of have kind of leveled off, which is, not bad news. 910 people currently hospitalized. Just 2 weeks ago, that was 1,100. So that's great. That's 7 more than yesterday. A slight increase, not meaningful. 273 people currently in the ICU. That's exactly the same number we saw yesterday. So that those both numbers have been falling and have leveled off slightly in the past couple of days. Okay, so that's the COVID situation. This is another good question from Samantha. Do we know anything about Delta Plus? I have not heard anything specific about it hitting overseas. I know that Delta Plus, the subvariants of the Delta variant, have been present in Wisconsin for several months and have not made a meaningful impact at this point. Okay, we've been getting weekly variant reports, and there were about 3 or 4 weeks where the Delta Plus variants were 5 or 6% of cases. And the last 3 to 4 weeks, it's been 0. It's been, sort of Delta, 100% Delta variant, and no other variants, no Lambda, no Mu, no Delta Plus. That's the case in Wisconsin. That can change. And those sequences are, 3 to 4 weeks behind, right? They're taking positive cases and sequencing the genome, which takes time. So those, we're getting those. There's a bit of a lag in that data. But at this moment, Wisconsin Delta Plus does not seem to be a big factor. That's a good question. Thank you for that. And Carol has some words for PHMDC. This thought crossed my mind, honestly. The thing is that the mask mandate really doesn't hurt anybody, right? Like, the Chamber of Commerce and stuff wants to say mask mandates killing business. It's not. Mask mandates is what keeps business open because people feel safe to go into businesses because they're wearing masks, right? Wearing a mask does not hurt your business. Closing your business, restricting capacity like we had to do last year, that hurts your business. But it is a little bit wild that Thursday, the 25th is Thanksgiving. We're going to remove masks on the 27th and hope for the best. I agree. I understand that. I will say, however, it's a data-driven decision. The numbers statewide are bad. The numbers in Dane County are really fine. They're really fine as relative, but getting better. And there's so much vaccine. We're almost at the level of herd immunity here in Dane County. Herd immunity in one relatively small area isn't very meaningful in a pandemic, right? However, I think PHMDC sees enough data to feel like they can lift the mask mandate at this point. Now, that said, there's nothing legally binding them to end the mask mandate. What they're saying, they're giving people a end of the tunnel with the understanding that they could extend the tunnel if they have to. So I hear what you're saying, Carol. I don't disagree entirely, but that's what's happening right now. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to hear from another sponsor, Madison College, and then we'll be back with more news for you, including our second annual Asian American Most Influential List. We'll be right back right after this.
Apply yourself. At Madison College, we encourage you to be your truest self. You're a trendsetter. Whether it's the clothes you're wearing, the music you're listening to, or the new game you're playing, you're into it first. Friends and family seek your advice because you're a natural-born leader. For you, life is all about taking things to the next level. And at Madison College, we can't wait to see what you do. Apply yourself today.
All right, in non-COVID news today, Forward Madison Football Club finished their season on a high note. They were eliminated from the playoffs last week, but finished the season with a 2-1 win over Chattanooga on Saturday night. Christian Enriquez, you see that in the middle, product of San Diego, California, is got his first professional goal in that match on a beautiful free kick. The highlights are available at Madison365.org if you're interested. Also today was the first day of our second annual most influential Asian American leaders list. We do these lists every year. We've done our Black Power list. We've done our Si Se Puede Latino leaders list, all the way back to our beginning since our founding. We've done Indigenous people and Asian Americans just for the past couple of years, because when you do this, you got to do it authentically, right? And it took us a few years to really get that to be invited into those communities, right? The Indigenous and the Native American and the Asian American communities, and to really make the right kind of connections where we could authentically understand who the sort of the power players are in those communities. The other difficult part, especially with the Asian American community, is Asian American is a broad and very diverse group of people. Right? If you just look at these folks, you've got Syed Abbas, the Madison Common Council president there. You got Jay Patel in the center top there. He's an investor at American Family. And you got Pauline Lee down at the bottom there. She's a journalist in Milwaukee. And Malika Sikar there. And just a wide range of different people in different positions, but also from a variety of different ethnic backgrounds, and all with their own different experience and their own different forms of prejudice they've had to overcome and that kind of stuff. So it's really a pleasure for us to get to know these folks and to highlight them and spotlight what they do. They're not all working in racial justice. That's not the only thing people of color do. Like I said, we've got a journalist, an investment portfolio manager, a politician, a couple of doctors. So take a look at that. There's 6 today. It's 34 of the most influential Asian American leaders. There's 6 today and then 7 each day the rest of the week, every morning. We'll have an installment of this. You'll get it in your email. You'll see it on your social media. So pay attention to those, read through them, get to know those folks. And, a lot of them are from around the state. There's several from Green Bay, several from Milwaukee. We got a couple of Eau Claire in there. We got a couple of 1 or 2 Wausau, and obviously, of course, some Madison folks. So, get to know them, get to feel, some pride in those folks. And that leads us into, that's the kind of project that we do, that we've done since the very beginning, that no other media outlet does, right? And you can help us continue to do that. Right now is a period of time called News Match, right? This is a national foundation effort through the Institute for Nonprofit News that matches any donation. We are, as you probably know, we are a legit, real live 501c3 organization. So any donation you make to us is tax deductible, right? But you can join our monthly membership program called The Fam. If you're for $5 a month or more, you can become a member of The Fam. You get some perks. You get some announcements a little bit earlier than everybody else. You get you get a meeting with our CEO. You get a couple other things. But more importantly, you get to know that you are supporting this journalism, and this journalism that no other media outlet does. Here's the thing: we could charge money for this, right? We could put up a paywall and say you get your 3 free articles a month, and then after you have to pay. That's not what we're about, right? We do the COVID news, we do the news about communities of color. We're holding powerful people accountable for systemic racism, all this stuff. That it just doesn't feel right that kind of journalism is only accessible to those who can afford it, right? We decided early on at our founding that we would always be free and open access all the time. And you get this show every day for free. You can ask questions, right? You get the podcast for free in the morning. You get Black Oxygen for free. It's all free for whoever needs it, because being informed is really important to being a healthy citizen and having a healthy family and providing for yourself and being a part of the community. However, it's not free for us, right? All this journalism is paid for. Somebody's paying me a salary. We don't have any overhead really, other than hosting charges for keep the website online. But we don't have an office. We don't buy a bunch of electronics or anything. It's just all the money we bring in is invested into doing professional journalism. Right? Now, here's how Newsmatch works. If you join the FAM, I'll put that up here again, Madison365.org/the-FAM. I'm going to put a link in the comments to make it easy for you. You don't even have to type it in, guys. You just click the link in the comments here. Newsmatch has been going on for, I want to say 5 or 6 years now. And it has always just matched donations. But here's the thing. If you join the FAM at a monthly level, it'll match your entire year's worth of commitment. Okay. So you join the FAM at $5 a month. What you're committing to is $60 for the year, right? Which is spread over the course of the year. Newsmatch will give us $60 just for your $5 commitment. You join at $10 a month, they'll give us $120 upfront to match your entire year's worth of commitment, just because you are making that decision to become part of our family, supporting the journalism we do, and helping us continue and to provide it for other folks who can't afford a subscription. That's basically all it is. We know that a lot of people can't afford a news subscription, but they still need to get the news. They still need to be informed. So if you could afford a subscription, join the FAM and, pitch in $5 a month, $10 a month, 25, 50, however you can do. All right. So that is that. I'm going to make that pitch a few more times because Newsmatch runs through the end of December. Right. So any gift you give, any membership you buy, you pay for beginning today through the end of December gets matched 100%. Right. I'm going to say this again. You join for $5 a month. We get $10 a month. Right. You join for $10 a month. We get $20 a month. It's just that simple. No questions asked. There's, there's not a bunch of reporting stuff we have to do, anything like that. It's just pure free money for us to be able to continue to do this really important journalism that we do all the time. And we keep it free for everybody. So it's a win-win all around. So we appreciate your support. Appreciate you listening to my pitch here. You're going to hear it a lot. Sorry. It's going to be like NPR pledge drive time for a couple months here. But it's because we need it. We need you. We need you to buy in. We need your support. I always say every other journalist, every other news outlet has an audience, right? I have information. I give it to you. You absorb it. This is a one-way street, right? That's not how we operate. I consider you my community. We gather information for the purpose of keeping you informed. We give you that information. We solicit it back from you. We look for information from you. We want to answer your questions. We want you to bring your stories to us so we can amplify your stories, right? We don't think of this as a one-way thing. We don't think of you as our audience. We think of you as our community. And as part of the membership in that community is you want us to help keep that going. We need a few of you to throw in a few dollars to help us keep going, to help us keep doing it, because our journalism is professional, right? Journalism is a profession, and we respect our reporters by paying them. That's basically how it works. So, all right, that's enough for me today. I appreciate your attention. Appreciate you letting me go through that. I will be back tomorrow with more news for you. In the meantime, watch Madison365.org, watch the Facebook feed, watch the Twitter feed, and you'll stay up to date. All right. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon.
This is 365 Media.